Paul, heading into the new season, things get underway with the pre-season friendly tomorrow against Oldham. How are things going?
They're real good. I think the amateur kids we brought in have done really well. We've lost two from the original 10. Now we knew that had happened because of circumstances and whether it's for them or not. The door will always be open for them to come back, but the guys that have stayed have done really well, and looking forward to seeing them play really more than anything else. Some senior players will be missing tomorrow. The PNG boys haven't come over yet as well, and we've just playing some experience with some good amateur lads and just see how they fare up against what is now a championship team in Oldham.
Played Oldham before and they were a strong team, and it was no surprise really to see them get promoted last season, and they've strengthened as well in the off season, so it'll be a good game.
Yeah, they brought in 8 players that are championship quality, or lads that have played championship, so across the board I don't think there's any amateur lads playing. They've got a lad Worthington, I think, from Wigan as well, who's centre winger as well. He's a handful, and he played again for Toulouse as well. So Dougie Charnock, who's a great kid who was brilliant when he was here, just unfortunate with injuries, and he got that big ban, but he's a competitor, real tenacious kid, and he'll probably be a thorn in our side. But they're a good team, Oldham, very, very strong through the middle. Probably that is the strength as a middle. With Scott coaching them, and Scott took him down, and he stayed, and then he took him back up again, and then he decided that was enough for him. But he's a real good bloke, Scott Naylor, and a good coach, and Matt will bring a different style to him, which probably will take a little bit of time adjusting to. He's more of a football coach, whereas Scott is probably ruck orientated, so we'll probably be a little bit of both tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see how they deal with the change in their style, or whether they revert back to just ruck.
How's it been going in the Raiders preparations over the last few weeks? We've had the break for Christmas, then back into it. How's training been going in general?
Real good. I mean, they call me the Grinch because I've had him in over Christmas, and but Paddy, the new conditioner, said that if we left it for 2 weeks, it'd lose all the fitness. So we have come in. We've had lads that have had family commitments that have missed, but they've done extras when they've come in, and they're probably fit. Probably Jamie Dallamel, the fittest I've seen him in a few years. Really, he's in good shape. He's been on a diet, off Paddy, and he's got himself in real good condition, and he's trained really hard. So it'll be interesting to see Jamie. He's settled down with his family. Had a lot of things going on with his new family last year, so that obviously, and moving in with his girlfriend, so that obviously affects you. So hopefully he'll settle down and lead us around the pitch, and he's definitely hungry, because he can just see it in the ways his preparation and the ways we call on it, with the lads. So again, Carl Foster again, he come in I think at 130 kilos, and he's dropped out at 117, nearly his playing weight from when he was at St Helens. So again, he's worked really, really hard, and I've been impressed with Carl, and he can play a little bit, and he's got tries in him as well, and I think he'll be a great addition to our squad. So again, I'm just excited about what we've got, and whether we can gel it into a championship top Division 1 side. And we need the PNG boys over. We need to be settled as a group, and these group of games will put us in a frame to build up for us, and up to the working game, then beyond that into gelling the team into a successful unit.
Has training changed much? You've had these amateur lads in, so you've had more numbers. Have you had to adapt that, or has it pretty much been it's a benefit because you have had more players to work with?
Probably a little bit raw, which you get from amateur. There's a few errors in them which you'll get from amateur teams, but what the dad brought is a lot of enthusiasm, and all the lads were brought in expressed a desire to be here. So it's not as if we've dragged them in. They want to come in and want to play. And we did a team run this morning, and it was really, really fluent. And and I said we've come a long way to the fellas since we come in, and I think it was on the 11th of November when we started. So and they're all played at a good level amateur wise, for Great Britain or for international conference leagues, or won awards locally, for player of the season and stuff like that. So we've been selective in what we have took from the amateur game, and with this dual reg system, they can go on back and play for amateur team. Some of them we will sign, some are keen to sign, have expressed an interest to sign. Professional forms have enjoyed it that much, so hopefully if we can get 3 or 4 of them out of this group, and then again next year, then again it helps the area and the progression of players that are below them to take their places, and them to come into the amateur game. And that's the only way I think the Cumbria sides will survive, if they farm their own players, because it's so difficult. I know, speaking to Gary Charlton and myself, that it's so difficult to get players to travel down here. It's not like it used to be. The money isn't there, so it's important that we get some homegrown players and support the local area, and we've done that for the last 5 years, and the response we've had from all the amateur coaches has been outstanding, and we've got a great relationship with them and the players.
We've got quite a few local players that are coming through the ranks now. We've introduced Adam Ford, who's in the squad. We've got Connor Terrell. We've got Jake Carter, Ryan Johnson. So there are lads that are coming through from the junior ranks as well. So we're making good progress in that area.
Yeah, and some will go back to the clubs. As my own son Joe's having a run out tomorrow. He come through the academy system. Probably at the time when he left the academy, he wasn't physically developed. He's 6 foot now, and he's got great passing in both sides. So he'll be coming in the pre-season games and seeing how he develops. But he's been part of the system as well. And Charlie Emsley's another one on our radar. We don't want to take him away from his Millen club early, but he's been in the friendlies last year. His registration hasn't gone through in time for tomorrow, but will have done for North Wales. So there's a lot of kids that are knocking about. Connor Terrell has just got under 19 Player of the Year for Scotland that we're picking up and nurturing, and we just try to keep them out of the limelight as much as we can, but give them an education, in attitude as well as football. So it's a big process for them, and they don't look out of place in our environment. That's the big thing. When they come in after they've been in the academy, Dave Cairns is a disciplinarian. He's done a great job, as did Darren Carter when he was there. Two great blokes that put the heart and soul into it, and they couldn't have better people to look after the academy boys than them two. And whether they continue at the end of the year, Dave, or not, we have to try and find somebody else if he doesn't. But if he does, great. That he's a great role model, international. What more could you ask for? But again, like I say, from day one when we come in here, last time it was dismantled. This time it's growing. So we're getting players that are actually coming through wanting to play from the club, and they feel comfortable coming into our environment. It's not just they're thrown in at the deep end.
So preparations for the upcoming friendly games. Is the plan to give everybody a certain level of game time, or will some players be in 1 week and out the next? How do you build up to that match fitness for the first games of the season, which will be the Challenge Cup?
Some of the senior players, they look after themselves, and they've been around the game that long. They probably don't need as much pre-season. The bodies are pretty much shot, so we'll hold them back and play them for small minutes. Some aren't playing in this game because of at the start of the season when they signed, they actually expressed an interest of not playing in the early game. So that happens at all clubs. So we've just gone with what we've got. Say Charlie's registry, some of the players' registrations haven't gone through in time, so again they won't play. So we've gone with the 21 blokes that we have got to play this week. Again, some will come into the squad next week, some will drop out, and again against Working it's the same. And then again we've got the Challenge Cup games, which is our first competitive game after that. So we just see really how they come through. Shane Toll will hold him back for another week. He'll play small minutes against North Wales, and then he'll be put into the game fully against Working Town. Lee Jowett as well. He's got to have just an injection, like an inflammatory injection in his knee that'll get him through the season, the same as Oliver Welks did. So again, hopefully that'll be done this week, and again he'll get small minutes against North Wales, and then he'll get small minutes against Working and just ease him in, ready for the Challenge Cup game. Brad Crellin's another one with a little shoulder niggle, so we've left him out, and Ryan Duffy the same. So little niggles to get left out, and there was no risk to him. We know what our best side is before we kick off, so it's about looking at what we've got on the periphery and seeing how they fit into our squad.
Paul, good luck for tomorrow.
Thanks, Darren.